So it's my opinion that 2021 was not a very good year at the movies. I wasn't overly impressed with most of the films I watched. I think we had a lot of like lackluster Marvel films, movies that I generally love. Not really anything in terms of great comedy, and no like fantastic action movies. There was some good stuff that came out last year, but nothing that really blew my socks off. Um, and so my favorite movie of last year was The Last Duel, a movie I actually reviewed a couple weeks ago. And I didn't even think about this until somebody asked me the other day, what was your favorite movie of the year? And I had to think about it. And that's normally not a good sign. There was nothing really that immediately jumped out, but I think The Last Duel is my favorite movie of last year. So it's appropriate that I'm again reviewing another Ridley Scott movie. This is his uh, now famous for some good and bad reasons, House of Gucci, a movie with a fantastic cast that tells the story of sort of the not really it's not like a really rise and fall movie, but kind of a lot of the inner workings and plot involving the Gucci name and famous fashion brand. So uh, yeah, let's talk about House of Gucci. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. One of the things I like about Ridley Scott is he had a great quote when he released the movie Prometheus, or when he directed it, and he said, "I make movies that are about everything." Right? He likes to make movies that encompass a variety of topics, and The Last Duel did that. It was a movie that was a romance, an action film. It had some really funny parts. It was um, about friendship and love and death and betrayal and all of these amazing things. And this movie is very much, a movie about everything. It's got betrayal, family, friendship, love, death, life, taxes. It's just kind of financial turmoil. Tackles all of these different things, political intrigue, and wraps it up in this like very very like modern telling of what's ultimately like a big kind of effed up family drama. And it's really, really, really good. It's anchored by fantastic performances from its main two lead characters, Lady Gaga and Adam Driver. Both of these actors are really great in everything they do. I think a couple years ago when A Star is Born came out, a lot of people were blown away by Gaga's performance in that. And she's not as good here, but she is really, really good in this role. She really does have a character that transforms throughout the film, and it's kind of one of those things you have to see to actually believe. And Driver does a similar thing here, where you see a guy who's in the beginning of the film is one thing, and as he develops throughout the movie, you see a lot of his underlying problems and flaws, and the things that you maybe liked about him turn out to be, pretty defective pieces of his character. So yeah, great performances across the board. You've got really a fantastic cast. You got Al Pacino, Salma Hayek. You've got obviously Driver and Gaga, and Jared Leto gives this performance that he really got kind of dumped on, I think, unnecessarily. He was nominated for a Razzie Award, which is basically like the anti-Oscars. Basically, like if you give what people think is a crappy performance, you get a Razzie nomination. And I think he gets a lot of unnecessary grief for it, and he's as good as anybody else is in the movie. He clearly like dumped a lot of his like heart and soul into the film, and he doesn't ever give a half-ass performance, and that's certainly the case here, as he's like layered in makeup and prosthetics and like an amazing hairpiece, and he's great. Everyone is really really good in this. Scott's direction is right on the money. The script is like airtight. If there's one critique of the film I have, it's really long, and it feels long in parts. I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary character development and fat that could have been trimmed from the film. But this is a really good piece from a fantastic cast, and Scott. I'm amazed that he put both these movies out last year. I'm amazing that my favorite movie of last year came out, and that was Ridley Scott. And then this movie comes out, and it's fantastic, and that's him too. I don't know how the guy managed to find the time in that year to accomplish so much, and he really deserves a lot of credit for it. The guy's not getting any younger. He's directed some of the greatest movies ever made. Alien, Gladiator. The guy's a phenomenal director, and he deserves a lot of credit here for doing something that's kind of like offbeat for him. I don't really, he's done kind of, biographical movies like this before, but nothing to this extent. And the movie obviously takes a lot of liberties with what actually happened with the Gucci family and kind of the rise and fall and rise of Gucci as we know it today. And it really digs into like the family history and the brand, and all that stuff is pushed to the forefront. So this is a good film. If you like good movies, if you like a good kind of like politically intriguing family messed up drama where all of the characters are like various shades of terrible, I would recommend checking out House of Gucci. And thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, if you found it helpful, consider subscribing. I will link to my review of The Last Duel at the end of this. It'll pop up on the screen. You can check it out. And thank you to everyone who's subscribed. A couple weeks ago, I passed the 200 subscriber mark. If you're sticking around, you enjoy my reviews, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. It gave me some feedback, things you think I can do better as far as presentation, maybe audio, video, editing. And let me know. Hit me up. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.